Clinton's Corner. My name is Clinton Jarman. Thanks for joining me once again. Before I get into things, obviously don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Also guys, hit that notification button so you can get all the latest from Clinton's Corner, the Fair Digest, and all we have to offer. Just before I get into things once again, I must just apologize that the last couple of weeks, for those who follow us, there haven't been videos being uploaded. Some of our equipment has been damaged with all the load shedding, shutting things on and off all the time. So we've gone through the process of replacing a few things. So that's been a difficult time for us, but you know, the show must go on, and so we're continuing on now, and we will be back from now on. So straight into the sports then. And the NBA is entering the sort of crux of the season now, with most teams having played about 60 games. This is sort of where teams start to put runs together for the playoffs. Teams start to get combinations for the playoffs. You know, the trade deadline was, I think, a couple of weeks ago. So all the teams are now set. You cannot trade any more players. So now you've got what you've got for the rest of the season. So in the East, the Milwaukee Bucks, they still lead the way. Best record in basketball at the moment. They won their last game 93-85 against the Charlotte Hornets. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 41 points, 20 rebounds and 6 assists in this one. Some say he's running away with the MVP. I tend to think that LeBron James is making a late shot, and if he can sort of do things without AD now, as AD's out with an injury, if he can do things without AD, might be a stronger shot for him as well. Milwaukee Bucks, they moved to a 52-8 record now. In second place in the East is the Toronto Raptors. They lost their last game to the Denver Nuggets, 132-118. Nikola Jokic in this one with 23 points, 18 rebounds, 11 assists. Raptors fall now to a 42-18 record. Then in third place is the Boston Celtics, and they also lost their last game, 111-110, so a tight one there to the Houston Rockets. Russell Westbrook outstanding in this one, 41 points. James Harden 21 points. The two combining for 62 points. Those two look like they've got something going. You know, at the trade deadline they traded away Clint Capella, and they got in Robert Covington. So they got more shooting in, and they cleared the lanes for Westbrook. And Westbrook seems to be the one that's taking this team on his back at the moment. So very clear there what their game plan is. They're going to go small. They're going to go with Westbrook, and hopefully that those two can come up big in the playoffs. They move now to a 41-18 record. Then the Miami Heat, they're in fourth place, and they won their last game against the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets. You know, this was a good team performance. No one guy stood out. I think a couple of guys got into the 20s, and most of them got into the low teens. All the starters that he's got double digits for the Miami Heat. So they moved now to 38-22 record. So in the East, I don't see the winner of the East coming out of any one of these, out of this top four. You know, people talking about the 76ers now, they might put a late run together, and you know, with Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, they could make something happen. That's the only team outside of the top four that I can see winning the East. But I just don't think anyone has a chance of beating the Bucks. Realistically, probably only the Celtics, but I still have my reservations. Then moving now to the Western Conference, the LA Lakers, they still lead the Western Conference, and they won their last game 122-114, and that was against the New Orleans Pelicans. LeBron James, 34 points, 12 rebounds and 13 assists on the night. Top performance from him, without obviously AD. AD's out now with a knee injury. Not sure how long he's going to be out. We'll have to see what the prognosis is on that one. Just a little side note to Zion Williamson, the youngster, the young gun, the rookie, 35 points in this one, and making a late run at Rookie of the Year. Now he has missed, I think a quarter of the season or half of the season. So it's difficult to give him the Rookie of the Year, but he's making a late case for it. He's putting in some stellar performances. The Lakers moved to a 46-13 record. Then the LA Clippers, hot on their heels. I think 5.5 games out. They won their last game, 136 to 130 over the Philadelphia 76ers. Kawhi Leonard, 30 points in this game, was the highest point scorer. But just a little side note here again, Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams scoring 24 points each off the bench. And I think that's going to be key for the Clippers, especially in a 7-game series, possibly against the Lakers, for who comes out of the Western Conference. So, you know, the strength of their bench is pretty much their strength. Obviously, they've got Kawhi and Paul George, but I think their bench strength is where they really have it over the Lakers, and that's going to be an interesting matchup when these two teams meet, if they meet in the finals. The Clippers now move to a 41-19 record. And then obviously I've just read out the Denver Nuggets and the Rockets scores of their last games, so I'll just give their records. The Rockets, obviously, the Nuggets, obviously they beat the Raptors, and they have moved now to a 41-19 record, same as the Clippers. And then the Rockets, they obviously beat the Celtics, and they have a 39-20 record. Now the Western Conference is a bit stronger than the Eastern Conference, so things might change in respect to positions in the conference. There might be one or two upsets, you never know. It is quite a strong conference. However, I see the Lakers and the Clippers being too strong for everyone else. The only other team that might cause an upset is the Rockets. You know, with Harden and Westbrook, anything is possible. However, Harden has come up short in playoffs before, and so has Russell Westbrook. So, can they get past that mental hurdle? Is it too big for them? We'll have to wait and see on that one. And then coming back home to South Africa, Momentum One Day Cup. Obviously, it's been difficult for me to follow. I've had to use quick info. I've had to use apps and fucking phoning a friend and to see how the guys are doing, and Twitter and all those sorts of things. But you know, try to get the results in for you. And the results from the weekend are as follows: the Knights, they beat the Titans by 6 wickets. Andries Gous scoring an unbeaten 160 to guide the Knights home in their second victory of the season. This was despite a great knock from Aiden Markram on his comeback from injury, 103 from him, and then Diego Rosier also getting 100 for the Titans. So two 200s on the Titans side, one on the Knights side, but the Knights managing to chase down that target quite comfortably in the end, it must be said. Then the Lions, they beat the Warriors by 9 runs via the Duckworth-Lewis method. Yeah, obviously I didn't watch the game, but looking on Twitter and stuff like that, I've heard it was quite a stop-start game with the rain and stuff like that. Reza Hendricks did get 100, so that's good that he's back in form again. Warriors fell just short, despite 94 from Lesiba Ngupin, and also some lusty blows from Magala at the end. I think in the last over he hit 4 sixes, which made it very interesting at the end, but just falling short there of the required total there, or the revised total, should I say. So just having a look at the logs, because it's been a while since I've been with you guys. The log has changed quite a bit actually. The Dolphins, they're now on top of the log. 7 games, 6 wins, 1 loss and 26 points. The Lions, they are second place. 6 games, 5 wins, 1 loss and 22 points. The Warriors, they sit in third place now. 7 games, 2 wins, 4 losses and 11 points. The Titans are in fourth place. 6 games played, 2 wins, 4 losses and 10 points. Knights, with their second win, they move up off the foot of the table. They've played 7 games now, 1, 2, lost 4 and have 10 points. Then bring up the Reds, the Cape Cobras, and they have played 7 games, 1, 2, lost 5 and they have 8 points. The Cobras perhaps struggling with guys from the Proteas setup coming in and out. It's a difficult situation. I think, you know, in the past, Astral Prince has managed the situation pretty well, but they are struggling this season. I think they're struggling more on the bowling front than the batting front. There are guys sticking their hands up with good runs, but you know, I think the bowling's been the problem for them this season, or that's what it seems like to me. So moving on then, keeping it local. Local is lekker. We're looking at some Super Rugby. And then, obviously every week I do a pick of the week, and this week is no different. My pick of the week this week has to obviously go to the only South African team that managed to get a win, and that is the Sharks. The Sharks bounced back after a loss, actually, to a win over the Reds. Sorry. The Sharks are trailing at halftime, and I didn't manage to watch the first half, but from what I've heard, it was a bit of a war of attrition in the first half. Second half, the Sharks put in an inspired performance, and they won quite comfortably in the end, 33-23. Although that end score did flatter the Reds a bit, because going into the sort of last 10 minutes, the score was 33-16. And then the Reds managed to score after the hooter, which made the score look a bit more respectable. But the Sharks are looking the real deal this season. Could they perhaps, they'll definitely get a playoff good, but could they perhaps win the competition? We have to wait and see on that one. But they're looking very, very good. Good leadership within the group. They've got Mapimpi, they've got Lukanya they've got exciting young talent also coming off the benches as well, and some good experience. So all bodes well for the Sharks at the moment. The Lions, they slumped to another defeat at the hands of the Waratahs. The Waratahs picking up their first win of the season, 29-17 over the Lions. The Lions' dismal season looks set to continue. It's very difficult for them at the moment. Obviously, like I said previously, they have lost 16 players due to injuries, suspensions, players leaving the club. So it's very difficult for them to keep going, but hopefully they can build the season and next season be back somewhere near the top. Then the Stormers, they suffered their first loss of the season, a surprise loss to the Blues. Now this is one game that I did manage to watch, and the Stormers just weren't on it from kickoff. There were drop balls, there were silly penalties. I must just say that Jaco Paper, the referee, didn't really paint himself in much glory on Saturday. There were quite a few easy calls that he missed, scrum penalties especially, which cost the Stormers points. So if you look at it that way, maybe that's why they couldn't get going in the beginning. And once you're playing catch-up rugby against a side like the Blues, you have to take chances, and then you leave yourself exposed defensively, and they can run in tries. So it was a difficult afternoon for the Stormers, but I think they'll learn from it and they'll bounce back. Then last but not least, the Bulls, they took on the Huggy Warriors at Loftus. Bulls hoping to get their first win of the season, but it wasn't to be, as the Huggy Warriors won 39-24 in that one. Then sticking with rugby, but just moving on to the sevens game. Now the Blitzbokke, they played in LA over the weekend, and they won their first two group games, and then they had a little lapse, a little draw against Ireland, which meant that they had a very tough route to the final. But they took that on the chin, and they soldiered on. They beat the hosts, USA. They then beat New Zealand, a come from behind victory against New Zealand. The come from behind victory was against USA. Then we beat New Zealand quite comfortably. I think it was 17-0. And then we faced Fiji in the final, and what a final it was. Blitzboks trailed 19-7 at half time, and the score could have been more because Fiji were dominant in the first half. And then in the second half, an early try set the cat amongst the pigeons from the Blitzbokke as they made it 19-14. Fiji looked to have sealed the win not late on in a sevens game with 3 minutes to go. That's still an eternity, but they looked to have sealed the win with a try there, and they made it 24-14, I think it was. 24-12, sorry. A 12-point deficit, yeah. And it looked as if that it was all over for the Blitzbokke, but with less than a minute on the clock, we managed to score those 12 points. First with a 5-pointer, which we didn't manage to convert, and then right after the hooter, another try and a brilliant conversion from Branko de Preer from the angle was pretty tight. Looked like it was sort of near the 5-meter line on the touch line. So brilliant kick. And then, you know, in extra time, it's whoever scores first, and we managed to get the try and seal the win. So yeah, great series victory and a fairy tale ending in Hollywoodland. So great for the Blitzbokke, and great for them in the standings. They were, I think, 9 points or something behind New Zealand. With this win, I think they will overtake them. So good stuff for them. Right, that is all I have for you today. Quite a lot in the show. Thanks for joining me once again, guys. Also, before I leave you, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button and that like button so you can get all the latest from the Clinton's Corner, the Fair Digest. Don't forget to subscribe also onto our online magazine, thefairdigest.com. Yeah, so I will see you guys on Friday for the Wild Pro Tier. Have a lekker week, guys, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.